We need less sheet metal and more sheep metal.
Yes, 100%.
I'm sure that band exists.
And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Old Man Vin. I'll be piloting the SSOMG WTF BBQ tonight from beautiful downtown Athens, joined every week by our man up north on the right side of the continent, one Jordan Swung, staple man himself, and on the left side of said continent, one Sandro Martin. This is going to be fun to watch tonight. We'll get there eventually.
Eventually.
I
Together with you,
don't know if
Shadow
I'm too
Venom,
much.
helping us
A little
form
bit of time.
Cocaine Voltron. How we doing? What's up? What's new? Plenty has transpired since we last spoke. We're just catching up in the pre-super shows and the pre-show. Talking about movies, talking about Alien. What was that horrible, not Alien versus Predator thing?
Alien versus
Hunter.
Alien versus Chris Hansen.
Very important things.
Yes.
Big show packed up for you tonight. Lots has gone on, but man, oh man, I ordered a video card. A used video card, but an AMD video card.
Very nice.
With 8 gigs of RAM, because AMD, last week AMD, said, that's all you need, homie. And I'm like, you're right. Here I was.
For 1080p, yeah. Right.
Here I was.
I'm thinking I was making use of this 12 gigs that I'm constantly running out of memory on. I was just doing it wrong. I needed to go the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was surprised. I picked this up because my AMD card that I use most of the time right now is, we're testing these ARM boards, is a WX3100, which is a Polaris board, but man, it's like 4 gigs old workstation card. And like, I wanted to try some gaming stuff with FX with the Orion 06. And I'm like, internet's going to be mad at me if I use that. Rightfully so. So I'm like, how much is an RX 580? 8 gig. I was like, for a long time, even still today, possibly, like, might be an okay card. And those are about $70 or $80 right now. And I'm like, well, what about a 578 gig? Turns out you can get those for like $45-50, man. Not too bad. So I'm going to be getting that on Monday. But I also learned something because doing the Interfacing Linux, go check it out, interfacinglinux.com, is I get tons and tons of offers from Amazon sellers about bullshit. Jordan, I had to turn down the offer for children's bicycles.
Damn it. How else are we going to, start our bike selling racket?
Dude, they're good for a laugh. These things come in every day, and it's always horse shit like that. It is completely, they spray and pray, man. That's all they do. But I did have the company reach out and say, hey, do you want some HDMI cables? I'm like, I like HDMI cables. What you hawking? They're like, fiber optic ones. They make fiber optic. Oh, I guess I know. Huh? Why? Oh, well, in case you need a really long cable. How long? 900 feet.
What?
All right.
Okay.
This one's
So when you need to output to a monitor, down the street, I guess?
Yeah.
Your neighbor's house?
Unfortunately, they didn't want to play along, because here's the cool thing. They sell the ends of it, and then you can also get different lengths of cable. So if you just need a short run or a long, you just plug in the fiber optic connector.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Can I get the 900 foot one? Because I thought it would be fun to put 900 feet of cable under the camera and just plug in a thing to a thing. I'm like, there we go, and just never.
No, dude, that is a video in and of itself. Is you just spooling 900 feet of cable on your arm? Just how long does it take?
It's gonna be I don't know. It's I don't know if the desk will hold. There were a lot of logistics to work up, but I had to ask. I was like,
yeah, well, yeah, you're gonna send me the 900 feet one,
yeah,
right?
Could I? And they're like, no, but any other link than that one, because apparently that one's $1,000 worth of cable.
So you got the 800 foot one?
Right, can I get an 899 foot one?
I can make do with 700, 750. Yeah,
Is this a negotiation, or do I just need to pick a regular length? Question mark.
Yes.
It'd be even better if it was like the fiber optic ones where it lights up once it's connected, so that way you can see every individual frame just being transferred throughout 900 feet to your monitor.
What's the wire speed on an HDMI cable? Can you like actually see that shit? Like,
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Also, working on a video. I'm working on the I'm calling it the GEEK Deck because Geeky D also has a nice ringtone. Haven't decided. Got home a little bit early today. Started to do some filming on that. So I've learned a lot about SteamOS. I'm relatively impressed. I'm installing it on a mini PC with basically, when you go back and forwards, roughly the same performance. And I do mean very roughly, like within 1 or 2% of a Steam Deck, both with the CPU and APU and same amount of memory and NVMe and all that. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. How about you, Jordan? You've been watching, what did you watch this week?
I watched a bunch of stuff, man. I watched Common Side Effects. I'm like 7 episodes into that out of the first season. That one's very good. I will describe it as what if Mike Judge made Breaking Bad, but also there's like a tiny little bit of Full Metal Alchemist in there too, with like the supernatural nonsense of like, what the fuck is going on here? Clearly there's like another dimension of stuff that we're not privy to.
I need to buy that shirt.
Yeah, it's quite good. See the Mike Judge as the CEO who's addicted to like the fucking Farmville game, spending like thousands of dollars on his phone, not knowing how to do fucking anything. He's like, well, have you tried making more money? Like, oh my god, it's the funniest fucking character.
It reminds me a little bit of like, what was his name from The Critic, Jay's boss.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Except Duke. Duke was the guy. Yeah. Except Duke was like way more powerful than this man.
Okay.
Yeah. The other one was The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension. We brought that up in the pre super shows, but it's worth the mention because it's a weird little movie with an incredibly stacked cast, and it's pretty fun. Sets up a sequel that never got made. Apparently, I looked it up. There is a novelization of Buckaroo Banzai against the World Crime League. Yeah. They tried to make the movie happen. I don't know. It's a fun movie. You got Jeff Goldblum dressed as a cowboy. You get John Big Booty, Christopher Lloyd. You got John Lithgow playing another guy named John Warfin. Yeah. It's good shit.
And it's fascinating. Like I said, like none of these people were known at the time.
Yeah.
Like none of them.
Yeah.
Sandy, you've been fighting with a fence?
Oh yes, fixing.
James Earl Jones?
You've been fencing, yeah.
Yes, I'm into fencing. Yes, and by fencing I mean my fence, the brackets, the metal brackets that are embedded into concrete, have snapped. So the wood post that is attached between the concrete and the wood posts, because that's snapped, it's caused the posts to lean over. Yeah. So now, yeah, me and the neighbor had to, we got started today on fixing that. So we're putting up new posts on either side, so that way it screwed into the original post to keep it upright.
Are you at all interested in like replacing the sheet metal that's catching all the wind? No.
No. I did have the idea of just drilling holes through the sheet metal.
Yeah.
Just to create, like, you know,
some ventilation.
Yeah, I asked some ventilation. Sandy, and I'm like, so are you dealing with like a chain link? He's like, no, wooden fence. And I'm like, well, wooden fence? He's like, but I mean, there's like walls of sheet metal that are just solid. And
walls of corrugated sheet metal, I think you described it as.
Yeah, corrugated sheet metal.
We need less sheet metal and more sheep metal.
Yes, 100%.
I'm sure that band exists.
It's bad.
They're from Wales.
Nope. I hate you sometimes. Unlike the horse.
The horse is not from Wales. Yeah. The horse is from lands far unknown, another planet, another time, another dimension. It's the SteamOS
update of the week.
Remember, kids, Ba means Hail Santa. Yeah. Too bad.
Facts.
So sad. It's over. Pack it in, lads. SteamOS, it's dead. going away. Neowin, SteamOS has fallen to its lowest level since the history of
forever.
forever.
What's with that handprint? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to watch out for steamy handprints, man. They're around there. Almost 40, latest survey, let's talk numbers, man. 40% of people still rocking Windows 10. 53% now on Windows 11. Linux, as we make our slow glacial crawl up to 2.69 nice percent, but SteamOS, the latest and greatest arched base madness, has fallen down to 30%. That's down from its peak of 45% in May of last year.
It's the end of the world, you guys. We're all gonna die.
Yeah, just throw away your Steam Deck.
Burn it all down. So I got hit with the Steam hardware survey this week, and it does that thing where, like, if you have multiple computers, it will load it up on all of them. I pointedly did not boot up my Steam Deck this week, so I'm probably contributing something to the drop in numbers.
Do you think it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, or just like?
Well, it's I just don't like have a game I want to play on the Steam Deck at the moment, right? Like, but or that I have time to like sit down and play. But like, I do wonder, like, now that Valve has the actual numbers, because we all know the Steam hardware survey is fiction. It is people voluntarily providing information, self-reporting, not the most accurate thing in the world. This is just more of a haha interesting. And I'm sure Valve knows what the actual numbers are. And I do wonder, like, how much of this is people like getting some of the other Steam Deck like machines and trying stuff out on those, people installing other operating systems on their Steam Deck. And yeah, also, I mean, like, what, CatchyOS is making some gains there. That's the new one I see everyone bringing up.
That's the new cool one, isn't it? I love it when we got a new cool one to cheer for. What was the last one? Nix?
Bazite.
NixOS. People are still on Bazite.
Yeah.
Solus was the cool one for a while.
Solus, yeah. What was it? Clear Linux, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Solus got spun out of Clear Linux. That was the Intel project that Ike was working on.
Pop OS at one point.
Pop OS was hot.
Mint was the once upon a time that was the hot new startup, right?
That's what you got to tell everybody, like, running out to install CatchyOS. Like, you'll be installing something else if that's how you roll. Give it a year or two. There'll be a new one.
Yeah, but like, but again, like there are other models of handhelds coming out. I do wonder how that is going to modulate the results, if at all they're going to start being reported through this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's always worth like a sneak a peek. I wish Valve would. Like, I don't see a reason for them, like, not to just post actual numbers. Like, it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, because, like, dealing with these actual numbers, like, it's just giving, like, this larger, like, how they use in the article. It's like 43% of, like, whatever, like, SteamOS was 45% of whatever the Linux user base, and then it's like these articles just give us a larger look than what we are, sort of like our modest numbers. But like, yeah, I would definitely love to see like the actual like Valve coming out with the results saying this is how many people like are using SteamOS on the Steam Deck. Whoever like put Windows on it, like.
So here's the thing. I definitely think that especially nowadays they would be incredibly reticent. Remember fucking what was it? Steam Stats? It was the one that it turns out that like the Epic Sweeney had hired the guy on. He was doing the data. Yeah. So like people were doing that level of analytics, and I think definitely Valve that all that information is a lot of like profitable information that is like intellectual property of Valve, and I don't know if they would necessarily want to like share that, because someone could attempt to use it to like make a competing product, sort of like, well, I mean, they'd have to like actually make it a full feature. Well, we'll get getting ahead of ourselves.
But at the end of the day, man, like we used to just be all up in the Steam stats every month because we had an approachable enemy, Apple. Like that was like when we started hitting 2%, like, oh, here we come.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
And Apple like gun-footed. They're just like, poof.
Yeah.
So
no, we are very much that dude in the fucking meme where he's just like biting the metal and spraying the champagne on the woman. He's like in third place.
Almost 3%, baby. Yeah, we're taking it.
That's us.
Here we are, a couple of years after the Steam Deck's release, though, and like we're not quite at 3%. I thought it'd be higher, to be real with you.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think it is higher. It's just, again, we're not seeing the complete stats.
Big
I think
Steam's
the
covered
other
it
thing
up.
too is like,
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is like, it is a secondary device, right? So like it is not just people have a Steam Deck and no other computer. They have a computer and a Steam Deck. And so
I mean, you also got to like look at the real numbers.
Yeah.
Like, think about like in meat space. I'm not talking about your online friends. What about people that you know? How many people do you know in person that are running Linux as their daily driver and playing games on it?
I'm a weirdo, so I'm not going to answer that question.
All right. Outside of your household.
I'm a weirdo, so I'm not going to
All
answer
right.
that question.
All right. GE Proton, hot news. I'm proud of myself because I called it GE Proton when I put it in the show notes, not Proton GE. This is the first time.
Yeah. It's so that it sorts nicely in the Steam interface. But yeah, we haven't talked about a GE Proton release in a while because there hasn't been a lot of exciting stuff, but now there kind of is. Doom Eternal, Doom Dark Ages, and Rocket League have broken cursor implementation. And the other cool thing is they have a sub-implementation for AMD XC64 to enable FSR4. It's not quite there just yet. They're still waiting on the other implementation. I think it's from like Etosh. It's linked in the GitHub page, linked in our show notes. Go click on that stuff. But one interesting thing about this is that you can set an environment variable, and if your game is using FSR 3.1 games, they will be automatically updated to use FSR 4, which is kind of neat.
Nice.
It's not quite like FSR 1 where you could like globally turn that on at like the compositor level. But also
Man, I
probably
miss
that's
these days,
for the
though.
best.
I enjoyed making my
Yeah.
games look like absolute raging shit.
I mean, it was the thing that the Windows users were jealous about. Like,
It was neat though, man. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that looks horrible, but look at those FPSs, man. Right?
yeah, no, on low resolution displays and like systems that were struggling, like it did help. You could like play the games. And,
I mean, it helped. But
Yeah.
it was. You remember how fantastically sparkly it was?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember
But
those
again,
days, yes.
if it's the difference between being able to play the game and not being able to play the game, deal with some spark. Just pretend it's the Twilight DLC.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Now-
man,
I'm just happy to see that, both Doom games got nice updates right away. Since there's only 2 games that on that list that got updates. Only two. I'm not recognizing that fictitious whatever thing third option there.
There's
Possibly
third
third
option?
option.
Colin McRae Racing Dirt.
Yeah.
Wine Whalen, man. Yeah, dude, it's always good that they're still doing interesting things. And I also saw that even Intel submitted a patch to Mesa a couple of days ago, like one of their Intel engineers to like work with Dojitsun's DXVK to like dramatically like give something a boost. I'm like, there's still gains left in there after all this time, dude. Love to see
I
it.
think at this point the Intel drivers are actually using DXVK in some capacity for like
Probably.
it's for the older DirectX games that they
Yeah.
don't have like the hardware support for.
We got to be like worried about Battlemage again because I saw that news that came out earlier this week. The new CEO is like everything's got to have like a 50% margin on it, profit margin to get introduced. I was like, ooh, that might not be good.
That's how you sabotage your fledgling product. Yeah.
Then a gang of engineers left Intel. On top of that, to go make RISC-V CPU. Like I was like, good luck, man. Pour one out. I don't want to pour one out yet. I want to keep hope. Last week, sticking with Steam Decky type stuff, we talked about Team Green, Jensen himself, coming out going, man, I love my Steam Deck. I wish I could find a way to get you to pay $20 a month to play your own damn games on it. So they released GeForce NOW, an official app for the Steam Deck. You just go download it. And everybody found out real quick because we were like, hey, official app, let's go download it. And they fired it up on their desktop PC and it said, get wrecked. What are you trying to do? That's not a Steam Deck. And you're like, yeah, I knew that. And it's like, well, I'm not going to work unless I'm a Steam Deck. I'm like, damn it. I wanted to know exactly what it was checking. I wanted to test it for myself because I said at the beginning of the show, I'm setting up a Steam machine, like Steam Brick. I've always wanted that Steam Brick. And I'm like, hey, I need to document this stuff. So I tried GeForce NOW. Does GeForce NOW just check, hey, is this running SteamOS? If SteamOS, then go for it. Yes. This worked just fine with SteamOS official installed on the Geekom A5 No problems getting it installed. It popped right the hell up. It popped right into Steam. Installation wasn't bad either. Reasonably well documented. So I was able to sit through 20 minutes of commercials for an hour of playtime. And
How bad were the commercials?
It was like the same 4 fucking commercials, dude. I mean, I legitimately just got up. Like, I wasn't doing anything in here. I just got up and left and came back.
Turn, like, hardware mute the speaker, just like walk away.
And Sandy, I played Rocket League.
Oh, gross. I miss that game so much.
But it wasn't even the real Rocket League. Well, I mean, I guess it was. I mean, I didn't really play it. I played it being played on... I streamed it.
NVIDIA's computer. Yeah.
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 And that worked. And on Wednesday, I was talking to Jill. Jill was like, talking about playing Infinity Nikki. And we got to talking about, apparently it's got a Steam Deck check too. It is like, if it's not running on Steam Deck, it's like, I don't want to play. I don't want to run. And I'm like, well, I might want a crippling Infinity Nikki addiction. So I tried it out.
Did you have infinite bank account?
Yeah. And apparently this game goes above and beyond with anti-cheat. And because reasons you need that in this particular game. I don't understand. It lets you install it, but it doesn't run at all. Not even a little bit. So they took that extra step just for that extra FU. That's why. A little bit sad. I was looking forward to getting some video of me playing Infinity Nikki. But if you know anything, I got a forum thread over on Interfacing Linux. What is it called? Just SteamOS version checks, and post your results. Let me know. I like to try stuff. I like having databases and lists of things like that because it's always fascinating because we theorized this way back. Like when the Steam Deck was first announced, I'm like, are they going to be doing a hardware check? Like I want to know exactly what Infinity Nikki, like the spitball theory is like it's checking CPU ID.
Or like maybe a TPM query or something.
Possibly, yeah. And like, you know, even though I got like SteamOS and like it's effectively the Steam Deck hardware, or maybe they could be checking for like controllers or some shit. Like,
yeah, or some like multifactorial thing, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Several things you need to tick off in order for it to launch.
Womp, womp.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's good to know, and at least it's not like buried in a Discord channel somewhere, right?
I'm going to talk about this more, but having used GeForce NOW, I'm impressed.
Nice. Okay.
I'm impressed.
Impressed to pay $20 a month for it?
Oh, absolutely.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
I'm not sold. I'm not happy with it. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
It functions as it advertised.
And then again, like I could, if you didn't have a PC, or if you were on a Mac or some shit like that, like Mac's not a PC, really. Or if I was on like one of my ARM devices or a mobile device, yeah, I get it. Like I could understand, like, okay, I already have these games in my library. I just don't have something I can play them on right now. But like, I wouldn't. It's better.
And like, yeah, no, for people who like want to play Cyberpunk, right? Like, I bought a copy of Cyberpunk or whatever. I don't want to buy a computer that like can play Cyberpunk, but I do want to play it.
Cyberpunk on Steam Deck?
No, I don't think because it was too big a download. I had other games I wanted to have installed.
Okay, let's stress this real quick. All right, spoilers. The video I'm working on coming up. We're playing Cyberpunk on the Steam Brick, the GEEK Deck. Stay tuned for that because I got thoughts on that shit.
I ran it on my back when it was running the 8150 with the RX 580, and it actually ran pretty well on that.
I can imagine. I'm hyper focused on. There's a Steam Deck preset in there that I will have comments on. But let's talk about Steam network in-home stream sharing. Valve, fix that shit, please. Fix it. You don't notice it when it's something little. You know, it's updating Proton, maybe 5 gig, 2 gig. You're like, oh, that'll be done. When it's a 60 gig game, and you realize that your Ethernet connection is tapping out at 700 megabits, which is slower than your download speed, you got a problem with your software, my friends.
Oh yeah, no. Valve loves to throttle the network. Like even the like if you have the game installed on another computer and it like
this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about connecting between these two computers.
Yeah.
That connection was slower than I could have just downloaded it.
Yeah, no, it like cap it out at like 8 megabytes or something. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Please fix that. And it wasn't me. You go to the internet, and the internet's like, well, it has been a problem since it's been introduced.
Yeah. I just use SCP, right? Like SFTP, copy it over. That like genuinely just faster to do it that way, honestly.
All right. Half-Life. Sandy, do you know who I watched play Half-Life yesterday?
Who?
John fucking Romero.
What?
John Romero is getting into like he's really settling in. He's like, fuck it, I'm retired now. Fridays, I play FPS games on Twitch. He's got alerts set, and it's him too. And he's got alerts, and he's thanking people for dropping subs and shit. And like he's having a good time with it. And
that's awesome.
The week before that, he played the new Doom game, and this week he played Half-Life 2. But Sandy's going to take us all the way back to Half-Life 1 when you had one crowbar, not two.
Exactly. When you were a simple
time.
man, a simple freeman,
simple country
with
crowbar.
A simple free man on a train,
simple free man
going to work.
Yeah, so a wonderful mod that obviously was not able to be on Steam as like part of the workshop because Half-Life at the time didn't have workshop support. So they went over to ModDB and they were doing updates for like the trial run of Half-Life Extended, which is a mod that extends the story, extends exploration of the first Half-Life game, and gives a little sort of modern tweaks and touches to the game itself in terms of movement and stuff like that. But yeah, they just recently released like a major update, but came out back in March. But yeah, so they've come out with a major release, and they're going to be shipping it onto Steam.
Steak.
Yes. I love the VHS or the CRT look that they gave it.
You do, you monster.
Honestly, that's how I remember Half-Life 1, honestly, because I played it on a 4x3 monitor. But this is really neat because it extends a lot of the areas in the Black Mesa complex, and you can explore and fight your way through it. And yeah, I really like this idea. Black Mesa as a complex felt so huge, and like you go through that tram thing at the beginning and you never come back to that area, like ever. There's that giant fucking robot and you're like, oh cool, I want to fight the robot. You never fucking do, right? No. There's all these little details that make Black Mesa such like a cool setting to like to make a video game be set in.
Well, yeah, dude, like we're watching a video, like they're having a shootout in the fucking library because of course they would have a library.
Yeah, absolutely, or like a lunchroom or whatever, right? Like and you were very much on the rails in Half-Life 1, and being able to kind of like veer off and explore the rest of the complex, it's just really cool. Apparently, though, I was on the upper difficulties. This thing will just fucking beat your ass, though, because
I mean, everybody likes a good crowbar, man. This I was happy to see, and let's be very clear. Original graphics, they're not,
Gold source,
they've tweaked some things, but it's not like a visual overhaul. This is all about just having more, man. And bigger cafeteria, new rooms, labs, bonus racks to crush your head. Nice. Just more world to explore, what Jordan was saying. And like, this is just the Black Mesa facility. And there is something about, there was technical limitations at the time. You had to work with what you could work with. Like Jordan said, 4x3. Had a single core PC, probably had like, I don't know, 256 megs of RAM.
Oh, dude. We played it on one of those fucking gray Dell laptops. You know the ones. The thick ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I played it on the Dreamcast.
Ooh.
The first time I played it was on the PlayStation 2 because it was on a demo CD.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's
I was just going to say, like, one of the nice things that I saw, like, I joined their Discord. I hopped onto their Discord server, and just to see a lot of the feedback that people were giving for a lot of the work that they had put in for each of the consecutive updates and stuff like that. Like the dialogue was really good. It was really constructive between like the devs and the community, and like just adding a lot of the stuff. Like they were going over like a lot of their patch notes on their Discord server.
I mean, the only downside, their official Discord, you're only allowed to communicate using the crowbar emoji and Morse code.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Clink, clink, clink.
The other thing they bring up, they do want to get on Steam eventually. They are attempting to raise $100 on their Patreon in order to get these.
Help them out. Okay, about to review it.
$100, not a lot of money.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? I didn't know this. You get your $100 back if you complete enough in sales.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, all right.
I don't know.
I guess that makes sense.
Yep. Let's talk about escape rooms. If you don't know about escape rooms, and people put you in a box and they try to say get out, and I'm like, people pay for that? And I'm like, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Mad Experiments Escape Room Sanctuary. Ooh. No gargoyles inside, unfortunately. I wouldn't have to worry about Frankenstein. I've always liked the idea of escape rooms, and there was one here locally in Athens. There might be more. This is just one that I drove by, and I'm like, that's an escape room. I've heard that word. Let me stop in. It was more of an escape closet, or a series of closets. I'm like, this is probably dope as hell for people without claustrophobia, which I don't have, but I'm like, this is an escape room on a budget. They didn't stay open all that long. Escape room sanctuary. It puts you in a really cool looking sanctuary. And for some reason, you want to leave it. I'm like, I'd set up house in there. I'd be calling the cable company. I'd be like, yo, what speeds do you offer? We're going to live here now. And it's, I don't know. It's first person, which I'm like, I'm getting some Talos vibes from this. Maybe a little bit from that. And as long as the escape rooms are not like blueprints, like Level Madness with like convoluted, like crazy ass MacGyver puzzles, I'd be down for it. Oh, did I mention it's got multiplayer and it's cross-platform?
Yeah, the entire series is cross-platform. The downside though is that they're all pretty expensive, and apparently they only recently started to work. But yeah,
how much is it in Canada? Like $5.
There was the other games in the series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other ones were like $25. But yeah, actually no, sorry, I misread that's the other game. Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, no, never mind. I just can't read my own fucking notes. What the hell is going on with me? My fucking pills have worn off. But yeah, escape rooms, in my experience, because I've done 2 of them so far. Yeah, they tend to fall apart when a couple of the D&D people in the groups, when someone pulls out a pair of lockpicks and the other one's like, bend bars, lift gates, motherfucker, because these are residential houses. And if I'm actually trapped in a saw room, I'm using all methods at my disposal to escape, not just solving the puzzles.
Okay,
yeah.
That was like on the rule sheet going in, I'd be more into like any means necessary escape room.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Can I knock some doors down? Because like straight up, that happened one time. Was I went to escape room for a work thing, and one dude just picked one of the locks and bypassed one of the fucking puzzles. We couldn't actually finish it because there was another piece of evidence in another puzzle we were supposed to solve along the way that we skipped.
Yeah, you gotta watch out when you're hanging out with a bunch of nerds. Somebody's gonna pull out a lockpick set.
Yeah. I get the concept. The concept is neat. Like I like the idea of puzzle games. It kind of reminds me of like Portal 2 and that kind of stuff. But like any other puzzle game, like especially if it's going to be multiplayer, like it's you're going to have people yelling at each other like, what the hell are you doing? You're fucking the egos will clash.
That's the Lethal Company experience, right? Like this is kind of the point of the game. I guess.
What are you talking about? I didn't see a truck in the trailer at all.
That's the DLC.
Yes,
but like I don't know. For me, it's gonna be like, do the puzzles like really take advantage of the co-op? Does like are they fun to solve? Do you need to communicate? Do you need to coordinate? And like how does that sauce work? Because like
that's like my favorite part of the thing is like, this is gonna sound like a weird analogy, but like we solve puzzles every Friday night when we're doing Trackmania RPG because we'll be sitting at a fucking area. My favorite part is when all of us are pulled up to like a ledge going, all right, what the fuck are we doing?
I was going to bring up Chain Together. We did a bunch of that, and that was just like, well, fuck, how do we deal with this, right? Like, we gotta establish a protocol and a communication and strategies. We gotta figure out meat lag. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So like if it can like hook into that and like give you a good experience that way, I think that's really what has to make or break this experience.
Agreed.
All right. Moving on from escape rooms to hipster pixel sequels, baby.
Kathy Rain, some say dry, others feel the pain. But Kathy Rain is out. It is a point-and-click adventure game in the style of Gabriel Knight. That's what a lot of the reviews are saying, that it is very much in that style, although a little bit more lighthearted. There was the previous game. This is a new one out where you're solving a new mystery as Kathy Rain. A lot of visual upgrades here, more voice acting, better visuals. And the other thing the reviews bring up is the puzzles in this one are a lot easier. And I gotta feel that's kind of like a double-edged sword when it comes to these sorts of point-and-click adventure games. Because
gotta nerf it for the kids, Jordan.
Right, because Sierra Logic fucking sucks, right?
Wait,
some people fucking love
that was all. Man, I thought it was gonna be a fucking Kano grab.
Yeah,
got him from ear to ear.
Yeah, it's the 5-finger palm of death. His heart explodes after 5 steps, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Some people really love the Sierra Logic, but some people also want to be able to fucking finish the game. So it's a hard thread to needle, I would say. Yeah. Also, apparently runs like a champ on Cent 7. Someone please try this out, because it's listed in the system requirements.
$19.99. Bit late on this one, everybody, because it came out May 20th, but I saw it popped up because I know some of you critters out there are point-and-click enthusiasts. It's playable on Steam Deck, but point-and-click on a Steam Deck, I'm I don't know about that, man.
I guess you could use your fingers on the touchscreen.
Yeah, possibly, man.
Touchpads. The touchpads on the Steam Deck would be great for
click grid point-and-click. I don't know. You'd get a fucking repetitive strain injury super fast.
I was doing a little bit of research on this, and I went back and looked at the original Kathy Rain, and one of my favorite reviews was a 0 out of 10 can't tase grandma. I'm like, that's some bullshit. Yeah. But if you don't know, well, the original one, man, was done using an original point-and-click game engine.
Yes.
So it was in 4x3 at 300 by go fuck yourself, and people didn't like it. They're like, that looks horrible blown up, and I'm like, I bet it did. This one's at least in 16:9 though, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was also looking at a lot of the Let's Plays of the first Kathy Rain game, and I was like, okay, and you could definitely see a clear difference between the gameplay in this and the gameplay of the other one, just how much they've grown in terms of just how they convey a lot of the story. And obviously the animations and the cutscenes look better versus the 4x3 ratio that they had in the first one. But it definitely looks like it's a vast improvement. I'm definitely gonna purchase it, not this week, but next week I'm definitely gonna give it a purchase. When
we got a bunch of the Double Fun remasters back when, I went back, the Tentacle Happy Fun Time.
Grim Fandango, Full Throttle had one. Yeah.
And I went back and I played a bunch of the nostalgia immediately wore off for me. I'm like, these don't really hold up to mine. I was like, I remember saying on the show, this genre died off for a reason. They were a product at the time, and the limitations of what you could do with a PC, and which were amazing at the time. I think the only modern point and click adventure game was Thimbleweed Park. I think they nailed it.
There's been a bit of a revival. There's stuff like the Inspector Jenks series. I think it's called Case. It's not Case Closed. That's Detective Conan. The genre has had a bit of a resurgence, but it is really much those diehards, because adventure games have kind of progressed now. You get I think they've kind of evolved into your Life is Stranges and your Telltale games. Yeah. That's sort of what that turned into.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, we also had the Book of Unwritten Tales, which came out back, I want to say 2014, 2015.
Remember Choose Your Own Adventure? It was about the same
time as the Steam machines.
Yeah. Did you ever do a Lone Wolf?
Lone Wolf? No.
No, that was the one where it actually had like a combat system in it, and you could get into fights.
Shit!
No, I remember one or two. I had one or two Choose Your Own Adventure book, where you had to thumb through and go to different pages and all that. And I never. Not from lack of trying, it was just lack of patience. Never found, because I immediately tried to hack it, right? Let's just.
You have all the fingers bookmarking the thing, because it's that's the bad ending. I'm going to flip back, and
this is where maybe learn safe scumming.
Yeah. You're fuck. I never really made that connection, but absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
And it was a different time. Moving on to some regular news. Shock in the Spock. DualShock 4.
The Spocker, yeah.
We all got them. I think we're legally now required to like pull them out. And
mine's broken, so I don't have it anymore.
Mine's not. Yep.
I have a stapler.
All right.
This is my DualShock. I have a stapler. That's the fucking episode title. This is DS4 to Xbox 360 DRV. What is it? Well, you've probably heard of Xbox DRV. It is a application that allows you to map controllers to present as an Xbox controller, because Steam Input has been doing that for most of like the past 5 years that Steam Input's been a thing. And we forget that sometimes you play games outside of Steam and they don't always support non-Xbox controllers. So this is a script. It sets up all of the UDEV rules. It will install Xbox Derv and set it up, load the module, and we'll set it up as a systemd service so that when you boot up your computer, your DualShock will be mapped to all the Xbox buttons, and then you can just play your games. And I thought to myself, like, wow, Xbox DRV is kind of in a rough state, because you really do, it doesn't have like a good profile sharing feature. You would think, hey, what's like an easy preset for like enabling my DualShock 4 or my PlayStation 3 controller or whatever? They don't have that. You got to like go hunt a config down and like copy a script, and it requires people to like make stuff like this. So it's good that it exists, but also Xbox DRV people, come on, like this is a clear pain point.
I didn't know, man. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say, like, you will forget, like, if you're from the Steam Deck, Steam era, Steam Input, we don't think about that. We don't think about that at all. You plug in a controller, the right buttons even show up most of the time now.
You can hot plug controllers, which is like extra weird.
We come from a time. Doing this show, we come from a time where controllers didn't work under Linux. Like, you might add what? This is weird. I remember bitching up and down about like distance, no controller support, like Unity titles.
Yes.
I get it.
I remember back when you finished Dust and Elysian Tale recently, when we first reviewed it, it freaked us all the fuck out when our controllers just started rumbling on the fucking table. It's like wait, what? That works,
dude. It was a weird time. Like, we were using what was it, Hita Joy or something. We had middleware to map controllers to keyboard input, effectively get away with it. Now, what I didn't realize is, like, this being that low-level thing of, like, if you're going to be using emulators and other applications outside of your good old games and things like that, brilliant. But was the DS4, like, genuinely that unloved? I didn't realize that, I got very, very late to the DS4 party. And by the time I showed up, I'm like, here, done.
I think it was more just in general, like the Xbox controller was just so ubiquitous, even at the time, like because the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were the competitors, right? But like the Xbox 360 controller had a much longer life outside of that, because like if you had an Xbox 360 and you had a PC, that means you had a controller for both. So that and also the driver situation for Sony controllers on Windows is garbage. You had to deal with those Sony drivers. Bluetooth didn't work. All that stuff. So I think a lot of people who are like making games on PC were like, fuck it. Like, no, it's not going to work anyways. Just assume you're playing this on Windows. You're going to be using the Windows controller, which is the Xbox controller. But I don't know. Like, was that the right call? I don't know, but I guess that's how it was, right?
You know what I want to get, though? I'm not buying a Switch 2. I kind of want to buy the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. I want to that mouse mode, dude.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
PC.
I'm going to use it for the fucking PC, Sandy. Like, I'm not going to sit there and not buy the Switch 2. I don't have the console. What am I going to do? Just sit here and go, mouse mode.
Just eat it. Just chew on them.
All right.
They don't have the bitterant on them like the cartridges, so
they better, man. Dude, my micro SD to SD card adapter decided to fuck off, but only in one camera.
Yeah.
That was an interesting chain of troubleshooting to piece that one together, because it was what I formatted, and I'm like, whatever, got it working.
dude, that shit happens, man. It's just the way you roll the dice sometimes.
What I did is I went and found the full-size SD card in this house.
I don't even have one of those. I just have the adapters, right? The micro SD to the full-size ones.
Everything else I have. My other 2 adapters are like, those are there and I'm not going to be using them. Like I needed this one for hot swapping things. And like, I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to get a full size. I found it. I have a 16 gig SD card.
Oh my God. My God.
Wow. That would have been expensive back in the day too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a terribly old, but it was just like a cheap one.
Okay.
I was surprised I had it. I was like,
yes. Like 16 gig full-size SD card, like, I don't think you can buy those anymore, right? Like you would have to get it.
It's an antique, man.
Yeah, man. Like that probably would have cost you like $100 back in like 2004, 2005.
Sandy is going to tell us all about Box 64. He's gonna take a swing at it. I might do an assist.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take a swing at it. Right. So yeah, for you kids out there, Box 64 is it's a Linux user space. So essentially an x86 for 64-bit. Emulator like that allows you to run your Linux programs, like your x86 programs, on ARM devices. Did I get that? Yeah.
Not at all. All right.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's an x86 emulator. It lets you run your x86 apps.
That's what he said.
Those words were in the sentence, not in the correct order.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sit back, relax. Let old man Van try to smooth this one out. Good shot, though. You're making progress. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm learning.
Listen, I'm not gonna fluff you for no reason. I'm gonna be honest with you, but yeah.
All right. Good job. So here we go. Something I've been playing around with. You saw if you popped over to Interfacing Linux, I did a little thing. If you get an ARM board, you get a Raspberry Pi 5, you got an Orange Pi, you got a Pi, Banana Pi, whatever, and you want to play Windows games, Linux games on it. Well, ARM x86, man. Difficult to make those 2 kiss. And Box 64 is one way to go about doing it. Now, you've heard us talk about ARM in Proton. Valve's playing around with ARM with Deckard. They're using FEX. This is option 2. And it's a little more self-contained. And it's pretty dope, man. These updates re-enabled the ability to launch Steam, like on your Rock chip and your Raspberry Pi. How'd they go about doing that? Well, they fixed some Go bits. I don't know what the Go bits were, but they fixed them and it worked. You had to launch Steam twice to make it pop back up, but I'm very happy, baby. Steam's back on the menu. And more importantly, I don't have to update that guide and be like, just wait it out, man. Volatile metadata for Windows executables for x64 one. That's in this release. And really just go check, like, if you've been helping out, testing this stuff, making reports, go back and test your older games. They might work. Another one, Vulkan 1.4. Been waiting on that. Got my hopes up. Like, this application is done. It is perfect when I can launch Bayonetta. I'm to the point where the window opens on Bayonetta.
Nice.
It doesn't immediately eat poo and just tap out using the Rock chip. And Box 64 is a great thing. Our Trackmania server running on the Raspberry Pi is running the x86 executable on a Raspberry Pi 4 using Box 64. And like being able to do cool shit like that and have this infrastructure around for our Army future, I think is magnificent. And I love big chunky updates like this. And this is where the exciting stuff is happening. And I've said it multiple times over the past couple of months, and I do mean it, of where you see we're still seeing generational leaps, not, x86 is kind of done, man. Like, we get everything figured out.
I mean, yeah, we got to move on to x87 now, which I recently learned about.
You and your floating points.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was a fucking typo in their blog post, and I'm like, okay, hold on. Before I start talking out my ass, let me Google this real quick. x87 is the floating point extensions for x86 TIL. They're being implemented in Box 64 now. The other thing they're starting to implement as well is Box Wow 64.dll, so you can actually run 32-bit Windows software on a pure 64-bit environment. This is the thing that you want to do because ARM64 and ARM32 are entirely different architectures. It's not like x86 and x86-64, where you had the 64-bit extensions for x86. Nuh-uh. This is apples and oranges, baby. So it's good to see that there's going to be, considering like a lot of the games that are out there that you would want to play on your ARM boxes are going to be 32-bit, and those ARM boxes themselves are 64-bit. Yeah, you want another way to do this. So good to see.
And, things like your Rock chips and things like that will have support for 32-bit extensions. Then you just got like the Rosda, the Orion 06, that CIX 12-core chip I have. Mm-hmm. No support for 32-bit. None. Get stuffed. Not going to happen. Oh, yeah. Fun times, man. Oh, what do we get up next?
Sweeney!
Oh, Sweeney Todd.
Old Sweeney.
No. We're never gonna. You know what?
Can we get like? I want to like do a musical rendition of like Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, starring Tim Sweeney as Sweeney Todd. Right. Can he sing? I don't think it matters. He's gonna do it anyways.
I don't know, man. Like, see, when you said the musical, I was like, yeah, let's do a musical of like the thing I want to give him credit for, like going after Apple and Google and burning those V-Bucks to make that happen. And that is like, so I ulterior motives, however, you did the thing and like you made Apple blink, which is good. Mm-hmm. Desperate to fight Steam. Epic burns money like firewood, but admits the Epic Game Store kind of sucks and quote unquote, there's still a ton of work to be done with long overdue features.
You think?
No, man. This is from Games Radar. A little bit of a talk about what's going on over at Epic and knowing that, hey, there's a little room for improvement for the Epic Steam Store. Because, I think it's just a bit, man. They're thinking about adding game-independent voice chat. Actually, this is coming this year. Gifting, preloading, text chat, and parties are all on the slate for 2025. And again, good on Epic for fighting Apple and Google. But, reading through this and like all of their big plans, I'm like, are they finally taking the steps to try to compete with Steam? Because after all the talk Sweeney's done about competing with Valve, they've never done anything to compete with Valve other than give out free candy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's that sea-level urge to just desperately shove that horse right in front of the cart. Not that horse, the other one. Shut up. I
was going to hit the button again.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the one advantage here, though, if you were going to attempt to justify this with some 4D chess bullshit.
Yeah.
You could say that now they have a bunch of devs who are bought into the Epic ecosystem who, thanks to Epic giving them dump trucks full of money, now are more amenable to adopting whatever Epic wants them to do. If they want them to push the store features more, maybe they would be more amenable because, we were good to you. Now you get to be good to us. I don't know. It might have been a little bit more cost effective to, build the platform first and then try to attract the folks to make it profitable.
No, damn it, Jordan.
What the fuck do I know?
You ship it first, then we tack shit on later. It's a more cohesive.
I've just been working in software engineering for a fucking decade and a half. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I guess now they're like, oh well, we thought we could like buy our way into this. It's not working. Now we actually have to make a fucking store.
Yeah,
and
having exhausted all other options of like just giving shit away, like. Yeah, people show up for the free shit and they immediately go, thanks, bye.
Oh, yeah. I got a free copy of Deathloop this week.
Yeah,
there's play
nothing
that game.
to keep you there. There's nothing to the store. It's just the place you go to redeem the free game. And here's something they're going to have to overcome because that's what the Epic Store is to the overwhelming majority of people. It's the website that you go to get the free game.
Yeah. And like from the developer back end, like, yeah, they have the sweetheart rates. It is a very, very attractive offering. It is way more competitive than Valve. And that would be like the main thing that I would hope would ultimately come out of, a competitor like the Epic Game Store is Valve slashing that 30% to something a little more reasonable so that like smaller studios can actually have some better margins. But that's not going to happen the way current things are currently standing. Not so much with the current state of the Epic Game Store, anyways. So
no, and it's crazy, like how Sweeney and friends like are able to publicly like say this now years later, and like they'll admit that we may have burnt a lot of money trying to get this thing off the ground, but like, and we're gonna tell you about all these future plans, but we're not actually like haven't technically started working on them.
I think they've added gifting.
Yeah,
I'm not shitting you. I think I heard somebody mention that this week. That
sure. Yeah, like the features that require you to spend money to use. Yeah, those are the ones they want to develop, right?
Forums, reviews, and just the suite of things that actually keep people on, heading over to Valve, launching Valve.
How many like games Steam forums are the de facto official forums for that game, right? Like
how many games that are on Epic exclusives, their official forums is on their Steam store page.
Yeah.
Hell, couple weeks ago, we were like, yo, this game released. Actually, it released a year ago on the Epic Game Store. It's not on Steam. And we're just like,
what's even crazier? Yeah. What's even crazier is Epic has way more money than what Desura ever had. And Desura was more of a competition to fucking Steam than what Epic is.
They were able to do that by not paying their developers, though. So, maybe we don't want to compare it.
I completely agree. But Desura had way more, they were more feature rich in terms of like what they had for their client than what Epic has. Epic, nothing.
But like, that's not saying much. It really isn't.
Again, one wasn't making money, and the other one was.
I don't have the nostalgic, the rose tinted goggles for Desura. I don't know.
What do you have the nostalgic rose tinted goggles for, man?
Windows 95.
Ah, man. This, for whatever reason, we're talking about marketing, man. You got to check out some of this AMD marketing about their new cards. AMD's got a new card out, right?
Oh my God, no. 16.
Yeah. They got the 8 gig version that they wouldn't give to any of the reviewers. They shipped them the 16. They're like, no, we'll just don't worry about it. Apparently on the 8 gig page, like when you're looking up the specs for this card on AMD's page, it says max memory size 16 gigs. They won't put 8 gigs there, even after last week.
What the hell?
That's some fucking 4D marketing right there, AMD.
Yeah. That is just like straight up gaslighting. That's like great reality denial.
Maximum configuration for this card, because I mean it's the same. Genuinely, to AMD's credit, it's like the 8 gig's not nerfed.
Yeah, it has that extra DIMM in there, right? Like,
yeah.
That's what they got. They got to start like cramming DDR slots into fucking video cards, man. I would love that.
Maybe, man. All right, sell us.
Speaking of, do you have a computer that can no longer run Windows 11? Do you not have a TPM 2.0 module installed?
Currently running Windows 10?
Or I guess Windows. Do they need TPM for a Windows 11, right?
Yes.
I don't fucking. Yeah, not for Windows 10, but like the upgrade is coming. They're going to be killing Windows 10. Yeah, but have you considered the K desktop environments? And this is an article where they're like trying to lure people in. They're trying to say like, hey guys, your computer can't run Windows anymore. We got Windows at home. KDE for Windows 10 Exiles.
Man, KDE is so good it'll make you sit in the middle of a wet road.
Sometimes this is what Linux usage is like. You're just like sitting in the road, eating noodles out of a takeout container.
40 minutes after installing Linux, this poor gentleman.
Yeah, this is what happens immediately after you install Debian.
That's compensation noodles.
Yeah, compensation.
You do apt install noodles, and then it just like gives you the takeout container, right?
Ball on your head.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're saying, your computer may not have the specs to run Windows 11. It may not have the TPM modules. Microsoft is saying, you can only use these types of computers. And you could keep on running your old version of Windows, but you're going to lose a bunch of security patches. You're going to lose software support as software just arbitrarily stops working on Windows 10 because they pushed out a version that does a version check. So why not install a distribution
Like
that
they're trying to
offers
sell it to
KDE?
vampires, man. Why plasma?
Yeah, why plasma? Yeah. Yeah, it's just like fucking Blade on the other end of this computer. He's just he's Wesley Snipes wrote this site. They try to lure people in. The Cube, man. The Cube was like fucking hot shit in 2006.
Oh, yeah.
Does it hit the same in 2024 or 2025 as it does back in the day? Because, like, you know, the Compes visual effects, we hadn't seen shit like that before, but now people don't really use desktops. That sort of like flare is kind of not really a thing anymore. I don't know.
I mean, it still looks like something I'm like, oh, this is dope. And I uninstalled it.
Yeah, well, and you don't end up using it because it's a lot of fiddly stuff.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, there's some good advice in here. There's some good rationale as to why you would want to install Linux and drop Windows. You know, there's the security, the privacy. You get control over your machine. One less than helpful piece of advice they give, though, is rely on the free software community, which is a bit of a loaded statement. They give a couple of resources that are like KDE specific resources, but, you know, telling people Google shit, maybe not the best way of going about it. And I think this is where we've talked about this before. This is where like Arch Linux and their wiki is like the fucking best thing that ever happened to Linux, in my opinion. Like the quality of documentation present at that point, where you can just like go look for a thing and find detailed instructions, and then at the end of it have a working system. It's pretty fucking good. I feel they really should have like curated more of that type of resource. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe we need like baby's first Arch wiki, something a little more like new user focused. I don't know. Either way, although all that aside, I would say honestly, most folks these days with a modern Linux system could make the switch to like Debian or like Kubuntu or whatever, and after like a month of adjustment, be perfectly content doing whatever it was they were doing previously on their Windows or their Mac. Because what were they realistically doing? Watching TikTok videos, browsing Facebook, checking emails, blah blah blah. They might even be able to play some games now all of a sudden. That might be fucking cool. The only problem I really have with this is that it is a long fucking article and people don't read. So
hit me with something positive.
I've been daily driving KDE at work, and I quite enjoy it. I think it is a solid experience, and like I said, I do genuinely think that with minimal adjustment, most people who are very familiar with Windows could be comfortable within a KDE environment, as long as they don't need like specific software that only runs on Windows. I think that's the main thing.
This is a fun experience. I think it's a fun, hopefully it's fun and lighthearted, because like it completely misses the actual like issue. And that is, it's 2025. People don't install operating systems.
No.
They don't. Like even the Android ROM hacking community, there's like 6 of us left, man. We are a very weird crowd. And we're not talking about Linux users. No. We are a very weird crowd. People who install operating systems. We take a computer, wipe it, and put something else on it that didn't come with. You know, I'm not talking about your automatic upgrades. No.
Hell, even people do like clean installs of Windows on their Windows machines, right? Like that's a minority, right?
Exactly. And so when you're faced with the type of person who's like, well, this machine says it can't upgrade to Windows 11, that's just what they're going to use on it, man. Like until they buy something else.
Yeah, they're just going to go on to Best Buy and be like, I need a new computer. And the fucking salesman is going to be like, here's one you don't need. That is like, grandma, you need the fucking laptop with the RTX 5080 Ti.
Okay. In fact, eGPU docs are on sale this week. We can get you into this 5090 for like less than $6,000.
Have you heard about SLI, grandma?
All the kids are doing it.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's a good read. It's a good thing. It's a good, like, feel good, like, yay. And, like, KDE's pretty dope. I've been playing around with it on the SteamOS, and I play around with it on some of these ARMs. I typically use, like, GNOME, because that's the typical thing packed in with a lot of the Armbian images I use. But, like, Jordan, you spent time with both, and, like, as I have, like, they both work. They're fine.
They're like for you and me, right? Like if we can get a browser and a fucking terminal, that's 90% of like.
Give me a good file manager too, though.
A file manager.
It's pushed it. Give me a functional.
Yeah, give me something I can like click through files on. Yeah,
and doesn't fight me when I SFTP. Because sometimes having fucking folders when I'm SFTPing into shit, keeping track of stuff is way more helpful.
I'm a weirdo. I still use CLIS FTP. I never use the fucking desktop one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have just a bunch of folders. Like, okay, here's what the main reason I use it is because in Thunar, I can like set that fucking address and just drag that folder into like my shortcuts. So when I need to bounce between boxes, I can just open it and go boop, 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 done.
Yeah, I don't know. My weird habit is like for all my file operations, I just use the command line because for what I find tab completion easier than just like trying to like navigate through a fucking menu and like try to like get the folders. I don't know. That's
for like sending one or two things. But if I need to send like 6 files, I got a directory. It's got 30 files in it. I need to send 6 of them. And they're
I do some nasty one-liners and some globs. That's my thing.
I think for like the speed, this is where GUIs like really shine. Like I think I could stomp anybody coming, from like just a raw start doing that from command line. And there's a lot of shit I can do from the command line way faster than you're gonna be able to do in a GUI. There's always that trade-off, but like what Jordan said, you're always going to have that terminal open. Yeah. Like at some point, man. Like how else are you gonna watch Star Wars?
Did you know that shit was run by the CIA? Or it was like the CIA or the NSA was actually the ones who were hosting that server.
No way.
Yeah.
I could see the NSA. I could definitely see the NSA doing that. Just because they're bored.
Is there a part B to that, or they were just like, why not? Cool.
I don't think there is a part B, or if there is, it's very fucking sinister, and we don't know about it, right? Like every time you telnet there, they used your computer to like build the actual Death Star that's in orbit around the planet right now.
Do either of you use? Did we talk about that Tor browser?
Yes. We talked about that like months ago.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a Tor guy. But also I don't need to make a lot of sus purchases, so
Well, I think that's like probably one of the like the self-compounding thing of what you just said right there is like people just associate sus purchases with Tor, and I'm like, nah, that you can use it for privacy and whatnot, but like in my mind, it's like, well, if I need to, that's what it is. That's what you associate it with. Like first thing right there, like and like I think a lot of people roll in with that. And like, there's nothing wrong with like scrambling your data from advertisers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
they don't need to know which waifu I go for.
No.
It's Evil Lynn, we know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you like the cut of our jib, you want to come hang out with us, you can hop in to our super secret Discord. All the information's over on linuxgamecast.com. There's about section, the sports section. We got Patreon, we got PayPal, we got magic internet money. But if you join us on Twitch as a sub, YouTube as a dom, or a patron as whatever you want to be, baby.
As a switch, baby. Yeah. just don't get stapled.
You can link up to our Discord. It's easy enough to do. There's instructions on the live page, or you can, ask ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, or whatever it is this week. And maybe it'll give you something vaguely resembling a wrong enough answer for you to be able to use a search engine to track it down on the second page.
No. What you do is you take the wrong answer at a Gemini and then you post that on Reddit and you be like, and then someone will correct you. That is
Reddit now. That's people. It is LLMs arguing, people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, trying to argue with each other using fucking LLM. Like, it is sad, dude. Entertaining, still sad. But patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. Let's do the show. Thank you so much for your support. Stick around for your name in the credits. You want to keep track of what I'm up to? I reviewed that piece of unobtainium this week on interfacing Linux. I'm talking about the AI PC kit for the Razda 06 at 12-core monster ARM ITX system that I got.
I totally misread that as the Razda onion.
It is the onion, the runyon.
The runyon.
Yeah, baby. Interfacing Linux, go check it out. It's the site I do. Hardware, software, Linux creatives. If you're into like making shit, you like to get shit done, or you're just shit curious, man, head over there. Got an old school forum, got questions. Old man Ben at least has a blank confused stare, but possibly an answer. Get you pointing in the right direction. All right. That's going to do it for this one. So I think we're going to cue the music. You can always find us right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/LinuxGamecast. Give us a whatever you follow, click on a heart or some shit like that, and come check out a live show, because we know most of you are listening right now. Maybe let me know where you are consuming the show. Give me some market research or not. I don't really care. It's just morbid curiosity. Get in touch with me. I'm just at Vin on all the things. If you find a social media network that I'm not on, well, I'm not on it for a good reason. Yeah, there you go. We got a Mastodon, mass.linuxgamecast.com. All of us are over there. And of course, you can come say hi in Discord.
I'm Jordan. I'm marginally more entertaining than LLMs arguing, but I will boil just as many lakes in the process. Follow me on Blue Sky at Frojo at bsky.app or at Mastodon at Frojo at mass.linuxgamecast.com.
Wiggle McEyes himself.
It's the Sandy of the Martins, and you can find me only on one platform and one platform only, and it's Mastodon. So you can find me at Altimore at mass.linuxgamecast.com.
I saw Sandy's fucking eyes wiggling in the reflection on the monitor. I knew that shit was taking place.
He's just vibrating.
Dude,
Like that
it
one
was
actor?
with such intensity and ferocity. I was like, all right. Time for some credit.
I'm like that one actor from...
Another round of seductive Xanax. Because we had a
Xanax.
lightning storm and the power was
Xanax.
blinking and I didn't get to do the credits.
Gotta seduce the Xanax, man.
Seductive.
Yeah,
So-
you know, that's what the X in X-Men stands for, Xanax. We gotta thank our advisor, Artheron, our executive producers, Barbara M. Scott, Atomic, Kurducky, 12345, drummer and Thartargos, and our little Nikki fans, Eggy, Basil, and Empty.
Sea Monsters, Johnny, Dirty, Angle, Dementor System, RL, Ryder, Nemaya, Vertanudada, Trogaya, Maikaya, and Kajoraya.
And then we got the Death Notes, Redski, Mark J. We got Oil of Hope, Benjamin Nova, Chad, something, Chris Jill.
Something, yeah.
Sheep people.
Sheeps.
And then we got the wonderful Chairlegs, who just kick ass.
And of course, Sandy and Shoddy. All
One
that.
of these days, we gotta get Sandy to, like, thank himself.
No.
Yes.
He does that every morning when he wakes up. He goes,
Thank you, Sandy.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
living another night.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, plenty of week to get out there and fuck around. So why don't you go ahead and do that? And yeah, you know, datify. We'll see you next week.
Toodles.
Metal sheep. What was our sheep thing? Sheep metal?
Sheep
Yeah,
metal,
sheep
yeah.
metal.
Sheep, Steve?
5 dudes.